it is many years of waiting and preparing that is finally happening. And there is no real preparation, but you just have to speak to your family about the mission and about being away. But we have great opportunity to stay in contact through video and phone. Now you mentioned this about keeping in contact, but what about in the future? If we go into Mars, there might be a delay up to maybe 22 minutes. How do you think that will affect astronauts in the future on such missions? It's going to be a big challenge for future Mars missions. When there is a delay like that, you can't have a real conversation in real time. So you have to find other solutions, maybe record video messages that you can send back and forth. But it's going to be a challenge. It will also be a challenge for the astronauts in their daily work. They have to be much more independent. Today, we have contact almost 24 hours a day. They're experts, and they sit there and they have, knowledge of all the systems in all details. So if we have questions, we can always get help from them to solve any issues we have. You won't be able to do that in the future. The astronauts need to have much more deep knowledge and insight. They have to be much more independent without help. It might be necessary to use artificial intelligence, robots that can help and assist the astronauts, maybe. Let's go to a little different topic. So there is somebody in the school, they want to ask about food. What kind of food do you miss when you're in space? And if you can decide, would you like to have in a future space kitchen? If you can decide. I think one of the things that I miss the most is something you have to chew, something crunchy. A lot of the food we get up here is soft, like mashed. It's typically like a casserole with gravy, so that when you open the bag of food, it doesn't fly away from you. So we don't have anything that makes crumbs. So it's like mashed food. So I miss something that you can chew, like good bread. I miss baking my own bread up here. I understand that. That's the best thing. So the space station is a lab, first and foremost, and somebody here at this other school would like to know, what is the most interesting thing that you have to research at the space station? There are a lot of very interesting trials. I have to make one of them is that I have to make photographies of big lightning from Earth and on Earth, and I have to also take some photographs of the moon. That's very interesting. In the Columbus lab, I have to try to 3D print metal. It means that if we succeed, maybe in the future we can print our own spare parts. We have a lot of components that wear down over time and that need maintenance and replacement. And we are dependent on getting supplies from Earth. But in the future, maybe if we can print our own spare parts, that will make us more independent. Those are examples of some of the very interesting experiments I'm working on. Andreas, you're only 400 kilometers outside of the surface of Earth, but the space station looks very different than what it is down here on Earth. How does it affect your body that you are weightless over a longer extended period of time? It affects my body a lot to be weightless. It feels like being in bed all the time. Imagine what it feels like to lie in bed for a week. It wears down on your muscles. It's like if you have a broken arm, you have it in a cast for several weeks. You have to exercise your body again after that, your muscles. So I don't use my body in the same way up here. So it's very important for me to exercise about 2 hours every day. I use a bike, I use a treadmill, and machines to exercise and keep our muscles and our body up to keep. You haven't been at the space station very long, but can you tell that the weightlessness is affecting your body already now? Yes, time passes really quickly. Today, it's exactly 1 month since I was launched, from Florida on August 26th. So I've been here for a month, and yes, I can feel it. Not on my muscles and my bones, but I can feel it in my head. I feel a little clogged, congested, because not all of the blood is being sucked into my in my legs, like when you're in gravity on Earth. So I feel congested and clogged, like I have a cold all the time. That doesn't sound very nice. Andreas, today, it's a month ago since you got up there. Today is a special day. You have something to do later today. What is that? I do. Tonight, there are three members from up here are traveling back to Earth after a whole year. And as they are traveling, the commander is passing the role as commander to me. So I will be a commander here for the rest of my mission. That means that I will have the overall responsibility for the space station and our work here. That is going to be very, very interesting. A lot of us are following your amazing adventure on the ISS. In your own words, please explain, why do you think that space travel is important for the future? I think personally that space travel and space exploration is very important. It gives us new knowledge. It expands our horizon physically and mentally, because we travel out, but also scientifically what we're doing up here is research that will benefit everybody on Earth. It gives us a better understanding of the Earth as a planet and the solar system that we're a part of. And it will help us increase our knowledge of the climate, how the Earth is being affected by the sun and the space and the challenges that we're facing in the future. And we're also part of creating the space. By traveling into space, we are creating a future where we hope space will be part of that future, and we will have bases on the moon and traveling to Mars, where hopefully we will gain more knowledge on planets and Mars. Mars being a obvious place to understand how life developed on Earth. As the last question, it's the second time you are on a mission, and a voice here would like to ask, are you dreaming about a new mission in space, or is this going to be your last one? That's a very good question. It's such a great experience, and we are facing a very exciting future. The space station is going to be here for many years, but we're already planning missions to the moon. We have a mission scheduled, hopefully, to start in 2024. That will be the first time we return to the moon since 1972. And that is very, very exciting what will happen in the next 5, 10, 20 years. And I really hope that I will be part of that. I very much hope that I will be on a mission going to the moon, but I hope a lot of other, or I know a lot of other astronauts are hoping for that. So it's going to be very competitive. If I don't make it, this might be the last mission I'm on, but that's okay too. This is a very, very interesting, exciting mission for 6 to 8 months, so I have a lot of time still to work here and experience all the exciting things that happen here.
Jeg kan se her, Andreas, at vi lige har tid til et enkelt spørgsmål mere.
I can see, Andreas, we have time for one more question. We know that you have designed your own chocolate, so we assume you love snacks. What is the most delicious thing that you've had on the space station up until now? You mentioned it yourself. Without any doubt, it is that special chocolate and energy bars that I had made by a Danish designer, Torsten Schmidt, who also made food for my first mission, and I savor them, and I save them so that I know that they will last through 6 to 8 months. Now that you mentioned food, we are also trying to make food. We started doing that, and I've tried to make some chocolate mousse. And I tasted that, and hopefully in the future we'll be able to also cook fresh food on space missions.
Andreas,
that was very delicious. This is all that we have time for. Thank you so much for your time. It's so exciting to hear about your work. And we'd like to say goodbye and just a few last comments, if any. Thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure speaking with you today. I hope you learn a lot through this day and the entire year. There are lots of activities in Denmark connected to this mission, a lot of interesting activities, and I hope that you will participate in that. I hope you will be inspired as I was when I was a child. I think that the life sciences is some of the most interesting thing you can work with, and when you combine that with an adventure, traveling into space, it becomes even more exciting. And for all of you that are fascinated with space, you're facing a very interesting future. A lot of very interesting things will happen in the future, especially when we return to the moon. So I hope that you have been inspired, and inspired to that degree that you select a path as an engineer. Thank you so much, and thank you for today. Thank you very much.
Station, this is Houston ACR. That concludes the event. Thank you.
Thank you, Houston.
And thank you to all the participants from the European Space Agency station. We're now resuming operational audio communications.